Welcome, everybody. It's been quite a while since we've joined to do this because the Wizards, COVID's played a big part in them being off. I think, what is it? It's been 11 days, something like that, or at least 11. It feels like it's been a month, right? So it's been
The last time they played was the 11th against Phoenix.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Yep. So, see, I can't count. It's definitely more than 11 days.
About 2 weeks.
But they did return to the court tonight. The Spurs beat the Wizards 121-101. Gonna let you guys get at it. We're joined just again. As you guys already know, we got Raymond Lyons, we got Cardell Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarver Jr. Again, welcome to Wizards Outlet. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Washington Wizards 121-101. Yeah, 3 players scored double figures for Washington. Beal led the way with 31 points, 7 boards. Jerome Robinson had a solid game with 16 points, 5 rebounds. 7 players scored in double figures for the San Antonio Spurs. Some things don't change, apparently. Again, 7 players. But Cardell, we'll start with you, then go to Ray. Just you guys' initial thoughts on tonight's the outcome of tonight's game.
I wasn't gonna. I'm not doing it like I normally would because I understand they've been off for a while and it's just not realistic for any team at any level to just come in not having done anything basically together for 2 weeks and being the same type of shape and conditioning and form that they were before everything got shut down. But with that being said, they played hard, but at the same time, it was to be expected. They were rusty. Adding new guys like Alex Len. I know Jordan Bell got in later. Cassius Winston, I know he's been there, but this is his first game really getting extensive minutes. You could just see the rhythm was just off. And the main thing I saw after that first quarter where they got out, they were excited, adrenaline pumping, they was ready to go. Hey man, fatigue just crept up on them like Dion in his prime, and they couldn't overcome that. Man, that was the difference. And then the Spurs got going, and the thing about the Spurs, the way they move the ball and share the load, they make you work on defense. And if you don't have any legs to begin with, fatigue hits you. It's kind of hard to stop them and still get yours. The others to me stepped up. They made a great impact. Jerome Robinson, Cassius Winston, Alex Len, Garrison Matthews. I felt like they had big impacts. Enough impacts where the Wizards had a shot to try to win this game. Before it kind of got out of hand and the fourth quarter. Another thing where the fatigue played a role in, and the loss is fast break points. I think the Spurs outscored the Wizards 20-3 in the game. That means the Wizards were slow. They couldn't get up the court to try to get easy points, and they were slow as hell getting back. That's just fatigue. They just didn't have any legs. Russell Westbrook rhythm was off, which is to be expected. The Wizards as a team was off for 2 weeks, but you remember Westbrook was sidelined like a week or two before that. So he basically ain't played in a month. So I knew his whole rhythm, I knew he was going to just be off. I was just hoping just play smart or whatnot. But, hey, man, it is what it is. It's hard to overcome that. But, the Spurs, the balance that they have offensively, it's just tough to deal with, man. And they got a bunch of young players that's starting to find themselves, and they're just going to get better and better. DeJounte Murray is special. Triple-double, 11-11-10. Like Wilson said, they had 7 players that scored a double figures. I mean, think about it. DeMar DeRozan only had 9 points. You know what I'm saying? And he's their leading scorer. But they still had 7 other players that scored in double figures. That's what you got to deal with. They have guys that can get it done, that can get a bucket, that can make plays, and multiple guys, and you got to deal with them. Right? And that's just tough, especially for the Wizards, who weren't a great defensive team coming in to begin with, and now they're out of shape. They're trying to get back in the flow. Another thing, the last thing I'm gonna mention is I thought because of that fatigue, they should attack the basket more. I felt like they settled for way too many threes, man. We all know playing basketball, man, when your legs go, the longer the shot, the tougher it is to make it. But the wild part is when you get fatigued, you start settling for those type of shots because you're tired. You know what I'm saying? Any type of day like the shot going up, and it's not good shots. So you play right into the hands, and that's why the Spurs, who aren't the best running team in the league, they don't really push the pace, were able to punish them in fast break points because when you miss threes, it basically sparks your fast break. You know what I'm saying? So because of long rebounds. They shot 14 of 42 from the field from three, the Wizards. That was nearly half their field goal attempts. You know what I'm saying? And Bill Jerome combined for 6 of 20. They both shot 3 for 10. So I just think fatigue was the ultimate, factor in this as the game went on, and Spurs did what they should have did, and got the W.
All right, Ray.
Yeah, man, I came into this one with minimal expectations. Being off for pretty much 2 weeks is it's just tough, man. Like, so yeah, the game went pretty much to be expected. I was glad to see at least they came out with a jolt of energy. Like, I know they were excited to get back into it, but like Cardell said, that fatigue it just crept up and jumped on their back, and it took hold, and it was evident as the game went on. The Spurs got runouts. Washington wasn't rotating as crisp as they were early in the game on defense, which led to some easy looks for the Spurs. In the third quarter, Aldridge got going off some missed rotations and a little bit of confusion in the pick and roll. So, there's it's to be expected, man. Like, it's extremely tough to come in and play at the highest level after being off for that long. But did see some good things. Garrison Matthews, he picked up right where he left off. Jerome Robinson, like Adele said, he stepped in, did a good job. Cassius Winston, I was happy to see him get some substantial minutes because I think he can definitely bring some things to this team. He's one of those rare, 4-year players at a big time school, and being under Izzo that long, he knows how to play the game. He's going to make good decisions, and he's going to compete, and that's what we saw tonight. On the Spurs side, yeah, they just executed. They kept the game close until they saw their chance to kind of jump ahead, and once they did, it was just too much for the Wizards to overcome. Especially with their defensive struggles. But then on top of that, they just didn't have the legs or the lungs. So they just got to work their way back as quickly as possible. I did like what Alex Len gave them. He just gives them some size and another person to disrupt things at the basket. So yeah, man, we just got to wait and see how this shakes out once they, can get everybody back out of a safety protocol and get some consistent time in the gym to just to get themselves back regular. So yeah, man, it's a game like this, it would be for us to get on here and just rip them to shreds would be unrealistic. Just you gotta take everything into account of what's going on with them for the past 12, 13 days. So nothing to write home about. They did come out and compete for as long as they were able, but if anybody's been an athlete before, then how it feels to come back and try to compete, especially at this high level, having those type of setbacks. So, we'll see how things progress as time moves on.
All right, yeah, I don't really have too much more to add than what you guys already pretty much laid out. I like the Alex Len minutes. I'm interested to see what it looks like. Once everyone comes back, like Ray mentioned, because prior to Alex getting here, and I'm not saying Alex is Keem Olajuwon down on the low block or anything like that, but for this roster, Rui was like the only one before they picked up Len where you could throw the ball down to somebody on the low block. So it'd be fun that they at least have that option. I think his first bucket tonight, he got thrown like it wasn't a panic pass, but he just got thrown a pass in the middle of the paint, 2 people on him, and instead of panicking, he just calmly split the 2 defenders and scored because he's a footer. Just simple things like that. I like the way that he protected the rim at times tonight. It wasn't anything crazy jumping out the gym, but he's 7 feet. He's aware that he's 7 feet. And, those are 2 good things already right there. And then he wants to. Again, like you guys said, there's not too much to take, man. You know what it is? We started this off tonight talking about how long it's been since they last played NBA game. What did we seriously expect? Also, the issues that they had prior to their stoppage, did we think they were all going to magically go away tonight after you compound you haven't played a game in 13, 14 days or whatever? We'll see how it goes going forward, man. It's just one game. I don't know. We might have to check back in terms of like conditioning. probably at least 3 games from now before folks have their legs underneath them. It's gonna be a little bit. Cardell, I know you mentioned you guys follow Focus on Twitter. I think Brad said the other day, he has luxury where he's able to stay at home, get in the gym, get a really good workout. Everybody doesn't have that same luxury, which means everybody's legs are not going to return at the same time. It's going to take a little bit. And everyone didn't have their legs. Every member of the roster didn't have their legs before the stoppage. So, that's just something I have to deal with. And also, several teams, I don't think every team's been hit like the Wizards, but this is sports in a pandemic. Like, you're going to have to deal with some parts of this. So, it is what it is. Again, what I think I speak for everyone here, we can understand all those things. No one feels sorry for anybody. All teams are going through it on some shape, fashion, or form. Shoot-arounds aren't what shoot-arounds used to look like. Post-game pressers aren't what they used to look like.
Practices.
Nothing is the same. Practices, like Cardell said, nothing is literally the same. There you go.
They can't practice. They just doing shoot around film, and they need practice though. So you can't even get in the gym and correct things as a coach. That's why, in a sense, I'm like, and you see if you look at the standings, is the majority of the league are all bunched up together. They is up and down every day. Like the LA's at the top. All these, it's up and down, man. It's it's gonna be like this, man. Like, we don't even know the second half of the season, the schedule yet. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to figure things out. I mean, it's just the time we live in. So honestly, owners across the league need to kind of just consider this year a wash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you got a shot at the chip, definitely have high expectations. But like for the Wizards and stuff, I wouldn't make any dramatic changes and stuff because it's not a fair season. It's just not. You know what I mean? Like, damn, in the middle of the season, 2 weeks just get wiped out like that. We can't even get in the gym. And listening to Brooks at post game, he said Bill tapped out in the third quarter, like you said. He had the gym to work out in. His legs went out because he couldn't play games, and we all know game conditioning is different than just being in shape. And being in shape is totally different than just running pickup or summer league or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the reality of it. And you don't want to risk just throwing players out there with an injured, and then you're just making the situation worse because they're not in good enough condition, pulling hamstrings and rolling ankles. You got to be careful. It's a crazy time we live in, period.
Wilson, you muted.
This is becoming a new habit of mine, pretty much a trend. So, regardless of what program we are, it's going to at least been one time when someone's going to have to tell me I'm muted. So shout out to the pandemic. This is just normal for me. Clearly, I cannot process the fact that when I'm not talking, I have to unmute the button. So we'll see if I can get better at that. We'll see what changes first. Me figuring out the mute button or the Wizards getting the conditioning. We'll see the interesting breaks. We shall see. All right, before we leave tonight, again, the Rockets are next game up for Washington on Tuesday night. Gonna see how that goes. We're probably gonna check in with you guys on the back end of that game. Won't be tweeting through it because we have a show on Tuesday nights. So we'll catch you guys afterwards. So if you got time, tune in to both. I can't hurt. Before we leave tonight, I know it's something Cardell wanted to touch on. It's pretty much stuff because we're all in the house, man. Even stuff that's not even considered viral goes viral because nobody has shout out to the internet. All right, so we have this whole school of thought here where there's people have started to define what they perceive as constructive criticism and hating. Depends on the person and how they want to hear it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just ask you guys. I'm far too petty to chime in. So I'm going to ask you, Raymond, and you, Cardell, just with the stuff that's come out recently with, old players and how they say what they say or anyone and how they say what they say. Where exactly is that blurred line between just outright hating and challenging or motivating or constructive criticism, however somebody may want to actually call it? Ray, we'll start with you then, Cardell.
I think it's a non-issue being made an issue. You know, pe- people have been older players have been criticizing players that are the current players since forever. Um, you know, they've been doing it since they did it to Mike, Magic, all them, and it's a thing that's happened. I guess it just all depends on how you receive that and how you respond to it. You know, some people just go out there and prove them wrong. Others, you know, getting their feelings and take to their social media accounts. I don't care one way or another. If you're genuinely giving constructive criticism, that's awesome. I think older players should, you know, kind of give back and try to get lend guidance to younger players. The issue with that is I don't see a lot of younger players take heed to that guidance. Um, some do, and they get better and they progress, and we've seen that. So I guess it's all on the individual, man. Like but it's just not a big deal to me. I think the issue with players being able to receive constructive criticism has been hampered by just the current state of basketball. Like kids are being crowned when they're sometimes in the eighth grade, and when you've been told that you're great for that long, and you get to a point where somebody's telling you, "Hey, this is some things you need to do to get to that next level," you might not want to hear it. You know, whether it be from your coach or an older player or whoever. So I think we need to get back to a point where we're constantly holding people to standards of improvement. Like it should never be a time where you feel like, all right, I'm cool now. I can just keep doing what I'm doing and continue to achieve farther beyond what I've already achieved. That's not how this thing works. If you want to get to a different level, a higher level, you got to do something different. You got to add something to your game. And how are you going to know what to add if somebody doesn't tell you? And if somebody's trying to tell you and you don't listen, then what do you have? So I mean, and Cardell said something funny the other day. He's like, you know, with all that being said, you know, one generation is going straight to the source, and the other generation is responding indirectly. So who's telling the truth here? You know, and honestly, sometimes the older generation is hating. It is what it is. That's we're not gonna skate around that. But on the flip side, sometimes the younger generation is hating. But my thing about that is how can you not want to be receptive to what somebody who's already been where you're trying to go is telling you? Like that to me, that's a little ignorant. You know, if I'm trying to achieve something and somebody that's achieved that thing is trying to tell me how to achieve it, maybe I should listen. Maybe they might have something valuable to add, you know, but hey, that's just me, man. But again, like you said, Wilson, I think it's that we're all being forced to sit at home, that this has become a big thing because it's definitely not new. This has been going on for years. You know, but it is what it is, man. The people that are going to want to take their advice, they're going to take it and continue to improve and get better. The other ones who are satisfied with where they are and just going to dismiss it as hate are going to continue to perform at the level they've always performed at. And it makes me know never mind either way. I get to sit up here and talk about it with you fine folks. So yeah, that's all I got on that.
All right, Cardell.
I mean, it's not hard to me. Constructive criticism is based is backed up by facts. You know, if I'm saying you're not playing good in big games in the playoffs and the numbers and wins or losses reflect that, then it's constructive criticism. When I'm hating, it's no basis, it's nothing to stand on. It's just an ignorant opinion because I don't like you or whatever it is you do. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, with Shaq did with Donovan Mitchell, I felt like that was constructive criticism. We all know he liked Donovan Mitchell because he always speaks highly of him, but he challenging him to his face where well, I ain't gonna say it to his face directly. He challenged him directly to get him to elevate so he can lift the Jazz up like Dwayne Wade did with Miami or something like that, and make go on a possible run like that. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes you need that. I just feel like we, in a time where everybody want to be kumbaya and hold hands and skip down the road singing and all this little cute stuff, and that's not life. Sometimes you got to be, like Ram said, you got to be held accountable. You know what I mean? Now I do feel like Shaq was hating on Rudy Gobert when he attacked him because he got 200 M's or something. Like, Shaq, that's just the time. Just like you got paid more than Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell and all those guys. You feel what I'm saying? And their numbers and their accolades were better than yours. So you can't, and they challenged him. He didn't like it, but he took it. And you know what happened in the 3P years? It got ugly. It was just like, who gonna lose to the Lakers in the finals? That's basically what it was those 3 years. So, that's where if it's a ratio, I say 20% of it is hate, but 80% of it is giving these players constructive criticism, because it's like this. The standard has been set for the NBA way before y'all came. We're not going to allow y'all to lower the bar to fit your ego, your insecurity, or to try to lower the bar because y'all know deep within yourselves you can't quite reach the level that has been established prior to you. And that's what I'm seeing a lot from the younger generation. They coming in and trying to move goalposts and stuff. Like, nah, the goalpost is 100 yards. Either you can get the ball, run 100 yards and score, or you can't. And everybody can. You know what I mean? And like Raymond, what you say, I'm like, how are you not gonna listen to somebody, the OGs, the legends in the game? They got the answers to the test. They got the answers to everything you trying to figure out, because they done did all that. So I don't understand why you turn your nose up at that. And here's the funny part that always gets me, and if it's now because Tuesday will be the anniversary of his death, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, but that dude was an open book when he sought out the legends. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike said, he bugged the hell out of me. Like he was irritating. Like, damn, calling me 3 in the morning about some moves. Like, are you serious? Like, he had legends upon legends he talked to from day one, and he absorbed all that. Then he became kind of the bridge for this era, from his era, you know what I'm saying, to transfer all that knowledge to players today, like Jason Tatum. Kyrie talked to him. It's Giannis. It was countless. It was countless players that he was talking to before. Sadly he passed. What do you think he's teaching y'all? So y'all up here turning y'all nose up to play the people that taught him, but getting the same information from him and acting like it's something new. That's what really bothers me, man. It's not that hard. Just shut your ego off for a minute and just hear what they got to say. Don't worry about the delivery. It's like a coach who's always cussing you out. Block out the delivery and focus on the message. And that's what will get you to the next level. It's not that difficult. But the problem is, like Raymond said, this is an era of too much ass kissing. And it starts when you're young. You show a little bit of talent, everybody on your, kissing your butt and all that stuff like that. And then as soon as somebody tell you something different, like, yeah, you good, but you ain't ready for that yet. Now I'm hating. Because I'm coming with some you don't want to hear. Now it's hate. It just irks me to no end, man. Because you should look at it as motivation. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool. You saying I ain't got it, I'm getting the gym, get that better. So when I come back, I got that. You can't criticize me no more. You see what I'm saying? It's just, you notice how a lot of the legends, they don't really go at Steph Curry. They don't really go at him. Why? He did it. He ain't moved the goalpost. He was raised off that, watching his father play. He got it done. The hard grind, no cheating. He elevated Golden State to dynasty status. We're old enough to remember when Golden State was a guaranteed W. They were a bottom dwelling team. I had a few little moments here and there, run TMC when Steven Jackson and all those boys, Baron Davis, they went on there and run to something. For the most part, you see them on the schedule. Oh, that's a win for most teams. He elevated them to dynasty status. No shortcuts. Put the work in. And all the while changed the game with his style of play, when most people are like, yo, you can't shoot all those threes and make it. Now he got the whole league trying to copy their style. He got a whole generation trying to be him. Can't even make a layup, but they out there shooting 30-footers. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they don't bother him. You know where he get the hate from? Today's fans.
In his peers.
Think about how funny that is. You read the articles that today's top players are jealous of him because they feel like he get a pass and all this. I think when you got 3 rings and all that stuff, I think you couple MVPs. I think you good. You know, you got fans talking about he got something to prove, man. Over players that ain't even did what he did. See what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. It's irrational. It bothers. You just like, and then the wild part is they blame the OGs for hating, but y'all talk about players in your own area. Worse. Don't think I forgot about Wiggins when a couple players made a little scene and they attacked Wiggins and stuff like that, and all these players was in the comments like laughing and stuff like that. Especially one bitter former player who don't deserve to be mentioned, who jumped on the gas and pulled gasoline. Don't think I forgot about what was said about Markel when he was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It makes y'all do the same thing, and y'all and some of y'all shouldn't even be talking because y'all haven't even got it done yet. Y'all still trying to figure it out. At least the legends have figured it out. You know, what Shaq said, I got G14 classification to talk about this. Yeah, he got 4 rings, MVP, arguably the most dominant big man ever played the game. He can speak on that. My thing is this: when anybody speak on the media that have credentials to do these things, professionals, when they speak on it, as long as they fair, you should be cool with it.
Yep.
As long as it's fair. I'm not talking about getting out here, you know, Kevin Durant, he's just a great scorer because he's tall. He can shoot a little bit. That don't even sound right. You sound stupid. He has a right to get mad and get at whoever's saying that. You know what I'm saying? But if Kevin Durant, who we know is a 37-7 a dude, 50-40, 90 dude, waking up out of bed, if he goes a whole month and only averaging 12 points a game on 29% shooting, how the hell can we get on the show and be like, yeah, KD's still playing good? I don't know what y'all talking about. He hooping.
I mean, he'll probably look at you weird for saying he's hooping when he knows he's doing
right,
like that.
Right.
Come on, man. We just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just speaking the facts. That's our job. But it's like if you say that you're the devil, you just horrible. You're just a flat out hater and stuff like that. When you point out what is real, so it's just go ahead, Wilson.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's just where we are now, man. Like, that's legit where we are. Like, that's
None of it makes sense though. It don't make any sense, man.
Look, man, we legit, and I know we're gonna kill this in a little bit to leave, but perfect example, just because it's fresh to mind. We sat here and watched the day for the football and the championship games, right? We got lied to and told that the AFC championship was by 2 dudes who were peers. One of these dudes already did 2 things that the other dude is yet to accomplish. And I got told that there were 4 great dudes playing this weekend. The 3 got resumes. One, it's still a hole. And there's not a knock on the person. I'm not knocking the dude who doesn't have it. It's early. So you don't have those marks on your resume yet. That's fine. My issue is that, like you said, Cardell, people took this kid and threw him in a place he had no business being. You was the one dude on today that was playing with house money. It ended how we thought it was going to end. It wasn't happening. There's levels to everything. This was that you know what I'm saying? This was the high table playing today. You just ended up playing today. That's it. But this was that high table conversation. Even then, this wasn't between the table or whatever. But we just threw somebody in there, and then there's other people who have a couple things on their resume last week. And we threw this, we acted like whatever was on that resume was irrelevant because we wanted to put somebody up. Like you said, just be fair. So all I can ask is that, like you were saying, Carl, be fair and just keep the same energy. Somebody who's been there before, it was easy today. You're not supposed to have 5 scoring drives, and the one that wasn't was because they had to kneel down. That wasn't you that stopped them. That was mercy. That was just convenience. And then turn around and be like, oh man, they're gonna be back here for a long time. I mean, that's cool. And so is the dude who just ran through y'all today. He's gonna be here for a long time. Just stop. Just be fair. Let's live in this, like, just not that hard with all this information to us to just live in this wonderful place. I didn't grow up with Pro Football Reference, Pro Basketball Reference, all that stuff. What is wrong with y'all? Oh my God, let's not even start with YouTube.
You had to go to the store and get the VHS. We had to put in work to see all that, though.
It was so bad. My mom sat with my mom during I forgot what year it was when Mike and them ended up seeing Portland. Had to tape every game just so I like
Yeah,
The old school
we had to work for that.
like, and y'all
All
just get to
commercial breaks,
hey look,
recording.
pick this up, type it in.
Like, though, when
watch
did
it.
we even get ESPN Classic? When did that come about?
I was grown, dog. Like,
Like high school. NBA TV
Yeah,
came
man.
when we went to high school. NBA TV popped up.
so
That
again,
was
all we
created because of
asking is,
'97, the 50th anniversary, the NBA 50th
Right,
anniversary in
yeah,
'97,
yeah.
and
you know,
NBA TV came about, so we could see the history. And we like, and you look
it
at it,
was
you like,
amazing.
well, goddamn, they
Yeah,
were doing
it
shit
was
that you know what I'm saying. It's like, hold up, and you get appreciation for it. And Wilson, talking about Josh Allen, I'm gonna take a page out of the, the youngins on Twitter and all that. Let's just appreciate him while he's still here. Come on, Wilson, stop hating.
Okay,
Let's just appreciate him.
Hey, look, I would simply say that's fine. But I will also say, like, I don't know, like, by the same logic they go through, what young Pat's already accomplished, it's his world until somebody changes it, right? So I don't want to hear the whole "we'll be back" and all that other crap. To me, it's irrelevant. So are they. You're going to keep coming back and get the same things. Like, I'm also old enough to remember when your predecessor did this. They came 3-4 times, they popped up, sat down all 3-4 times. So it doesn't matter.
Wilson,
Like,
see, you saying it's this world, it's negativity like that. Look, just appreciate him.
You know what?
Appreciate
You're right.
Josh Allen in the build.
You know what I appreciated tonight? What do I appreciate tonight? I appreciated watching two diverse staffs go to work and show what they can do on both ends of the football in Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Give them credit for that. Bruce Arians, man, the staff, the top folks on their staff, every head guy on their staff, they all look like me. And at a time when the NFL likes to conveniently forget that folks that look like me don't exist as far as coaching and hiring, things of that nature. Just keep the same energy. We heard how Boy Wonder Brian Dable was so brilliant and everything else. And I'm not knocking Brian Dable. This is not coming from a place of hate. I'm just saying have the same energy because we're giving Brady credit for all the things that Tampa Bay's done this year, and that's wonderful. Todd Bowles is running that defense. Byron Leftwich is the offensive coordinator. Folks, stop conveniently forgetting what's going on. I watch y'all give Justin Herbert all this credit this year, and I'm not going to knock the young brother. But do you know who the brother was that had his hands on him, molding him to help him, to give him the type of tutelage he didn't get during his time at Oregon? Pep Hamilton. Google it, figure it out. I'm off my soapbox. Y'all have a good night. We will see you Tuesday. Got a lot to talk about on Tuesday.
It applies to NBA too.
Exactly. It literally applies across the board because don't let folks just feed y'all stuff that doesn't make sense. People hire who they want to hire and you hold them accountable. Like what Cardell said earlier, hold them accountable. There's other people there, you know who they are. Hold them accountable. Again, information age. This isn't like back when we grew up where it was whatever the paper told us. It's not that. It's literally not that. So, y'all on your phones for everything else. Shouldn't be that difficult. It was good being back for Wizards Outlook. So for Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Have a great night. And again, we hope to see you guys Tuesday night, both for the Focus TV and then a little bit after that for Wizards Outlook because they will be taking on John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Vic Oladipo, and the Houston Rockets. Fun times. Could be a very petty night, so you don't want to miss that one.